Yeah. Roll it up. Turn it up. It's Alabama folk. Jack, Jeff, Trev in the booth. Yeah, you already know. From Tuscaloosa nights to the Saturday lights. Breaking down the ties. Every wrong, every right. Got the insight, fire, and the Bama pride. When the Crimson's on the line, we alone for the ride. Bama voices on the call. We gon' break it all down. Roll it up. From the rumble in the trenches to the kings of the crown. Roll it up. Yeah, the tide runs deep and the show runs strong. Jack, Jeff, Trev, keep it rolling all season long. Every snap, every play, every headline drop. If it's Bama on the field, you know we never stop. Fast take, big stakes, tide talk all day. Alabama by CFB, we don't play. Christian spirit in the air, let the good times flow. Times flow. Roll it up. Only one place to be when you love.
Good evening and welcome to the 50th edition of Alabama Primetime Live from yours truly, Jackson Johnson and Travion Ware, as we go over our takes on the latest news and notes on the Alabama Crimson Tide, including whether the NFL draft streak of first rounders could end in the 2026 draft, and much, much more. And let me tell you something, folks, you're going to be in for a wild ride and a good time for a long time, all right here on Alabama, the Voice of College Football. The 50th edition of Primetime Live is presented by FanDuel, where you can get top-notch predictions in the world of college football, college basketball, men's and women's, NBA basketball, early predictions of Major League Baseball, some National Hockey League predictions, and much, much more. Travion, what is on your parlay list tonight for Tuesday?
Man, that's a good question. First, I started out by tapping in with FanDuel. FanDuel definitely has best odds on the market, whether you're looking at college basketball or NBA, or they even got some NFL draft things you can bet on, like 40 times and stuff like that. But tonight's focus was on NBA, a game that caught my eye. I was looking at the Orlando Magic versus the Los Angeles Lakers, looking at Luka Doncic in particular. He's my favorite basketball player, if y'all don't know. I was looking at him to have a bounce-back game tonight, Sunday versus the Boston Celtics. Which is like a good game from other players. He had a subpar game. He dropped 25 points. His rebounds and assists was pretty low. So I'm thinking that tonight could be a good bounce-back spot for the Los Angeles Lakers, considering they lost that game. So I'm looking at Luka Doncic to go nuclear tonight. I'm saying that he could potentially drop 30 points, but for our safe bettors out there who want to kind of water it down a little bit, you could put Luka Doncic on 25 points. I believe that's definitely something he'll get to very easily. Also looking at other games on the market. Was looking at in the college basketball world as well. They got Duke versus Notre Dame, looking at Cameron Boozer specifically in that game, looking for him to do well on his points, rebounds. The line was about 29.5. It's been spiked up to 30.5, but I think Cameron Boozer, a double-double is suffice for him tonight. I'm thinking he's going to be a monster in the paint and on the glass. So if you wanted to look there, you could probably start out with Cam Boozer for 10 rebounds, 15 points. You can look there as well. Also, just going back to the NBA side of things, also was looking at another particular game in the NBA, looking at the Knicks versus the Cavaliers. That's definitely going to be a good game as well. Looking for Donovan Mitchell to come out firing, considering the Cavaliers lost to the Oklahoma City Thunder on Sunday. I think Donovan Mitchell's going to have a good game. His line is about 27 points. Like I said, for my safe bettors, if you want to water that down, you can put him down for 25 points. And James Harden, you can put him down on there for about 6 assists. Jared Allen, you can put him down for about 8 rebounds. And yeah, so that's about that's about a 5-man parlay with Luka Doncic, Donovan Mitchell, James Harden, Jared Allen, and Cam Boozer. That's about a 5-man parlay that is pretty safe if you water it down to the numbers I suggested. I think that's something that could hit tonight for sure. But overall, it's just a lot of good games going on in college basketball, in NBA. Definitely expecting some high scoring outings from a lot of stars tonight. So if you want to start there, you can definitely start there on the NBA market or the college basketball market. And overall, if you're just looking for bets just to put in, specifically, FanDuel has everything you need from first basket bets to over, under, spread, money line, anything like that. So if you're looking just for some action on the night, FanDuel can definitely get you squared away and ready to play. But yeah, that's pretty much what's on my agenda tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be like keeping my eye on the Warriors over the Pelicans. I feel like they could really get it done over New Orleans. The Lakers, I believe, could beat the spread over the Magic. But for men's college basketball, let's keep an eye on that for a second. For tonight, let's take a look at it.
Yeah.
I think Michigan can beat the spread over Minnesota. Like, I think that can happen. They'll win by like I'd say 24 points or more over Minnesota, which that's more than beating the spread.
Yeah, for sure. And then it's just some other games going on too. You're looking at I think he plays for Indiana. Indiana. His name is Wickerson, the guard off of Indiana. I'm looking for him to have a good night too. Points assist is something also that I was looking at earlier. But yeah, it's just a lot of action. So it's a lot of basketball being played tonight. So if you definitely want to tap in and get some action, like I said, FanDuel is definitely the place you want to go to. A lot of premier matchups on the market in both NBA and college basketball. So you can definitely dibble and dabble, pick and choose, and yeah, I'm definitely expecting for it to be a fun night tonight on the hardwood.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean like for tonight in college basketball, I've got Oklahoma, and this is gonna be a shocker, but I've got Oklahoma beating Auburn on that one. And I don't know why, but I've got a feeling Missouri can upset Tennessee for a bit, honestly. I think that can happen. But Arizona, I don't they can beat Baylor, but I don't think they'll beat the spread tonight.
Yeah, that's why on FanDuel you can definitely just water down some of those lines. You can water down the totals, like I said, over under, uh, water down spreads and stuff like that. But they definitely got everything you need. So that's why we are shouting out our partners at FanDuel. They're the ones that puts the battery in our back and helps us power this show. So we definitely appreciate our partners at FanDuel.
Oh, for sure, man. Well, how you doing today, good buddy?
I'm doing all right, man. Just looking at some of this NFL Combine talk that's been going on as we draw closer to the NFL Combine. It's supposed to start on Thursday. Obviously, the big focus this weekend is going to be it's going to be the quarterbacks, the receivers, the running back, the skill players, pretty much getting out there running those 40s and things of that nature. But tying it into Alabama, been hearing a lot of talk that Alabama may only have 2 first rounders in this year's NFL draft. If that, obviously, those players would be Ty Simpson or Caden Proctor. And I wrote an article about it on Bama Hammer yesterday, just about the potential of that of Alabama's 17-year consecutive streak of having a first rounder in the NFL draft. That is in jeopardy. Honestly, that is in jeopardy. And I based it off of Daniel Jeremiah's top 50 prospects list. And on that list, it had only 2 Alabama players, and those players, like I said, Ty Simpson and Caden Proctor. And those guys were pretty on the back end of that list. I believe Ty Simpson was in the 40s. I think it was number 49 for exact. I got to pull up my story just to get my exact numbers right. And Caden Proctor wasn't he was slightly ahead of Ty Simpson. I think he was the 29th overall projected athlete in Daniel Jeremiah top 50. And Daniel Jeremiah works for NFL Network, so I kind of take some heed into what he's saying, because he works there. And then on top of that, just having some of the insights that he has, that kind of caught my eye. But obviously, Alabama's 17-year draft streak has been on the back of Nick Saban. Nick Saban, who uh, set a program record in a college football record for the most that Todd Simpson is firmly the number 2 quarterback in the NFL draft. I would believe so after Dante Moore of Oregon went back to school. And plus on top of that, Todd Simpson, um, he definitely fits the bill of a number 1 pick, but he's an outlier because he only started 15 games in his career at Alabama. But we're seeing some of his best plays, seeing how he was able to draw. But from a health standpoint, Todd Simpson had been dealing with some glutitis. He lost about 25 pounds, and he was about 195 at the Rose Bowl. And ever since then, he's been able to heal up that cracked rib that he had. Weekend's going to be a big weekend for Simpson to solidify his first round status. Obviously, he's already made it known that he's going to throw at the NFL Combine this weekend. And I already know that he's going to do very well in those meetings with those teams, sitting down, talking to those GMs, talking to those offensive coordinators, talking to those head coaches. So definitely banking on Todd Simpson to solidify his first round status this week. Same with Caden Proctor. Caden Proctor is another prospect who Alabama is banking to get some first round noise and be taken within the first 32 picks. Caden Proctor, 6'7", 360-pound offensive lineman. This is some of his best tape right here. But Caden Proctor was a little bit streaky. Obviously, a lot of Alabama fans love him for the athleticism and the athletic plays that he did when Ryan Grubb would get the ball in his hands. But this is the NFL now, so Caden Proctor is going to have to prove that he's an every down tackle if that's what he's going to play. I've been hearing some talks about him potentially moving inside at guard and stuff like that. But it's really just technique with him. Just getting down, getting your pad level down, driving your feet.
There's one video where he's just like blocking 2 guys at once.
Yeah. With his size, like I said, being 6'7", 360 plus pounds, he definitely has that in his game. But it's just how consistently can you get that at the NFL level? Because he did show some inconsistencies at Alabama, but for Alabama rotating as much as they did on their offensive line, Caden Proctor was the every Saturday tackle. He started every game, so I'm definitely banking on him to have a good combine performance as well. Him being one of the more athletic offensive linemen in the NFL draft, we've seen that with his just ability to move at his size. So I'm definitely thinking that Caden Proctor too can hear his name called in the first 32 picks. But it really just depends on what they all do this weekend at the combine. I mean, for Caden Proctor, his work is going to start a little bit early on that Thursday and Friday portion of the NFL combine. But it's definitely a wait and see type of thing because, like I said, there's been a lot of analysts that's been hasn't had a lot of Alabama players in the first 32 picks. And if that streak were to end, that would be the first time since 2007 where Alabama did not have a first round
Dark Ages
draft pick. Yeah, the Dark Ages, right when Saban was coming, right before Saban built the program up to what it is today. Nick Saban had in Nick Saban's 17-year tenure at Alabama, he had 49 first-round selections. Some of the notable first-round selections being obviously Julio Jones, Mark Ingram, Amari Cooper, Derrick Henry, Minka Fitzpatrick, Quentin Williams, Tua Tagovailoa, Mac Jones, Bryce Young, and Will Anderson. Those are his most notable picks. But obviously, looking at a player like Jeremy Bernard, I believe Jeremy Bernard is going to be a steal for a team on day 2. Definitely, I've been seeing him be projected as a potential second rounder, and I definitely think that that could be each Saturday. So I'm definitely expecting that Jeremy Bernard, even though he probably won't be a first rounder, I definitely think that he could be a high value pick that is considered a first rounder for a lot of teams. You can get that type of talent on day 2 in the NFL draft. So with that being said, I'm just anxious to see how this combine scenario plays out this weekend. Another element that could help Jeremy Bernard rise up boards this weekend is the fact that Arizona State's Jordan Tyson said that he will not be running the 40, I believe, and doing some other drills. And Jeremy Bernard is a humble guy. He's a do-it-all guy. Not to say that Jordan Tyson isn't, but that's one less receiver that scouts can look at in workouts. So I'm definitely thinking that Jeremy Bernard can kind of capitalize and drive his stock drive his value. So I'm definitely interested to see how the combine plays out this weekend. Wishing all 12 Alabama prospects the best. But yeah, I definitely think that this weekend a lot of players can solidify their spots. I mean, obviously, like I said, there's been a lot of talk that Ty Simpson is the number 2 quarterback in the draft. I firmly believe that he is. Been seeing him mocked to a lot of places on both the NFC side and the AFC side. So it's really just about situation. It's about what situation he can get into, personnel fits, head coaches, what's the plan for him. I think it's best that Ty Simpson, just continues to learn a little bit. So I'm definitely thinking that a team that drafts him would either have a bridge quarterback in place or a veteran quarterback in place who's on the latter end of their career. Been seeing a lot of talk about him potentially going to the Los Angeles Rams. Me and you have discussed that on this show. Also been seeing some talks about him going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers are still trying to reel in 42-year-old quarterback Aaron Rodgers, and if they do that, they can still afford to take Ty Simpson in the first round. Obviously, there's the New York Jets who are always looking for a quarterback, it seems, so he could also be a fit there. A lot of Alabama fans not wanting that to happen, but at the same time, the NFL is the NFL. You got to succeed either way. And I think Ty Simpson has the mental makeup, has the work ethic, and the talent to survive anywhere. So it really just depends. It really just depends on where he goes. But like I said, I always say this: football is situational. You don't want to put a lot of weight on the back of your quarterback coming out of the draft. But it'll just be interesting to see because I mean, Ty Simpson has been mocked to a lot of places. Jeremy Bernard is seeming to pick up some steam from NFL teams. Caden Proctor as well has been mocked to a lot of places and various other Alabama prospects. So this weekend, starting from Thursday all the way up to March 2nd, is going to be a big slate of time where Alabama athletes can solidify themselves. And I have full confidence that every player that wears the script, they can do so. So we'll just see. But like I was pointing out in my story, that streak is definitely in jeopardy because last year I believe we saw 2 Alabama players be drafted in the first round, Jahad Campbell and Tyler Booker. So this year it could potentially be 1 with Ty Simpson or Caden Proctor, or it could be 2 with the both of them. But no more than that, really. I think it's probably just going to be 2, if that. But we'll just have to see. If not, that means that I feel like that'll be another small indictment that fans will make on calendar board that, hey, that you messed up the streak and stuff like that. But I don't think the streak is in jeopardy because, like I said, the players will solidify their spots this weekend. But if the streak does come to an end, obviously it'll be the longest streak in college football. And calendar board will have to go back to the drawing board and develop some more first rounders. But I definitely think that this weekend, like I said, it's gonna be a lot of cases that are made. So we'll just be waiting to see. We might even have to come on here Saturday to just discuss how the Alabama players did, in particular drills like 40, throwing drills, cone drills, verticals, and stuff like that. But we'll see. It's just a wait and see type of thing, really.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah, because I know where it's like, I've definitely been a proponent of Simpson being drafted by the Rams. Now, drafted by the Steelers, that's pretty good and all, but it's just I really don't know what to make of the AFC North for 2026 that and beyond. Because that's a bit uncertain, and
Yeah,
unfortunately,
that division is always tough just because of Joe Burrow. When he's at the top of his game, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Same can be said about Lamar Jackson. Think he's a two-time MVP, almost three-time
Mhm.
MVP. Same can be said about Lamar Jackson. Yeah, he's a two-time MVP. Same can be said about Lamar Jackson. Obviously, the Cleveland Browns in that same division. They've been rumored to be looking at Ty Simpson. I mean, even though they just drafted two quarterbacks last year in Shadur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel, and still has Deshaun Watson on contract and stuff like that.
Oof.
But them having a new coach and stuff like that, they might want to mix things up. But in Pittsburgh case, they have Will Howard, national championship winning quarterback from Ohio State, going into his second year. They have him on the roster. They have Mason Rudolph still, and still trying to bring in.
Aaron Rodgers is
Trying to
likely
bring back
making his return for 2026.
Yeah, and Aaron Rodgers, that dynamic is interesting because him and Coach Mike McCarthy, former Green Bay Packers coach who went to the Dallas Cowboys and just spent his last year out of coaching. He just took the job in Pittsburgh. So it really just depends on what he is looking at for a quarterback. But Todd Simpson could definitely fit there. Like I said, regardless of where he goes, I definitely think that Todd Simpson has the mental makeup, has the mental fortitude, has the skill set and everything you want upstairs in a quarterback to succeed anywhere. So it's really just about what happens, what team needs a quarterback, situational fits and things of that nature. But
True.
we'll see this weekend. But I got all the confidence in the world that every Alabama player who steps foot in Indianapolis at that combine can do well and make themselves some money this weekend.
Well, and you and I were talking a little bit before the show started. We were talking about the 49ers and how they could need a wide receiver. I mean, Bernard seems like a perfect
Yeah.
candidate for San Francisco. I mean, how funny would it be if we saw Ty Simpson at the Rams and then we see Jeremy Bernard at the 49ers? That kind of adds another layer to that 49ers Rams rivalry. And I'll be honest though, kind of like where the Ravens Steelers was like the premier rivalry in the NFL. I mean, it still is a top rivalry, but it's like it's kind of going down a little bit on account of the fact that John Harbaugh is not in Baltimore anymore and Mike Tomlin's not in Pittsburgh. Not to say that the Ravens Steelers isn't the top, a top. It's still a top rivalry. It's just not the top rivalry. Plus, it kind of feels like 49ers Rams or like anybody like 49ers, Rams, Seahawks. That's like the triangle rivalry you've got in the NFL because like everybody's just killing one another in the NFC West, with
Yeah.
the exception of the Cardinals. Because like Cardinals are just the the nerd that's getting beat up by the bullies for their lunch money.
Yeah. I mean, I can see Jeremy Bernard with the San Francisco 49ers. That would definitely be a good pick. I mean, San Francisco 49ers being needing a couple receivers coming in. Obviously, George Kittle just got hurt in the playoffs, and he's going to miss all of 2026. And they got some receivers on that roster like Jawan Jennings. They got some receivers on that roster, but they're kind of unproven. They got Ricky Pearsall and stuff like that. Jeremy Bernard is a receiver that could definitely come in and help them. Obviously, they don't have Brandon Ayuk anymore. Brandon Ayuk kind of went MIA on the 49ers, and they're not expecting to have him back. But that NFC West would definitely be an interesting dynamic if Todd Simpson did end up in Los Angeles and Jeremy Bernard ended up in Santa Clara. And then you got Jalen Milroe in Seattle, even though Sam Darnold is the quarterback there. But the NFC West could easily become Alabama's division with just all the talent that they pumped into that side within that division in football. So definitely some interesting stuff to look out for there. And yeah, but these players could go anywhere, man. I mean, I'm not counting any team out from selecting anybody because the NFL draft is always an intriguing weekend where we see surprises, we see teams trade up, we see teams trade down, we see teams make player trades, we see teams kind of draft for need, we see teams make some reaches, we see teams draft for depth. So it'll just be that'll just be one of the more interesting weekends on the calendar. Of course, it's all the way in April, but with the combine, we're talking about it now, so it definitely be a lot to look forward to in the coming days.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm wondering who could get Proctor in the NFL draft. I
Mm,
mean, because like we've got plenty of time to figure it out,
yeah,
but we'll definitely wait and see what happens. I mean, I was just looking at one from Bucky Brooks at NFL.com where he thinks the Lions could go and get Proctor.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, Dan Campbell loves offensive linemen, number one, and he loves versatile offensive linemen, and that's something that Caden Proctor can be. Obviously, Dan Campbell even likes to run trick plays with offensive linemen, and we've seen Caden Proctor in some packages. I mean, obviously, all the fans know about the Krispy Kreme package. Caden Proctor was a part of this past season, so you know the Detroit Lions wouldn't be a bad pick. Obviously, the Detroit Lions got a lot of Alabama players on their roster. You look at Terrion Arnold, you look at Jamison Williams, you look at Byron Branch, you look at Brian Branch, you look at just their history of drafting SEC players, like I said, particularly players from Alabama. So that wouldn't surprise me either. I think that's a good fit too. That's a place where he wouldn't have to just step in and be the day one starting tackle, because I do believe Caden Proctor still needs some development in some small areas. But Dan Campbell is definitely the coach that can get the best out of his players. So Detroit wouldn't be a bad place for Proctor either.
oh yeah. Yeah, because I mean, like the Packers are just a team that just seems like they're just going to be falling apart in the playoffs, obviously. And the Vikings, they're a bit of an unknown. I mean, the Bears did all right in the playoffs this year, this last season, 2025. But what's happened in 2026? Do they have another good season, or is the possible move out of Chicago a distraction? I mean, that's something we'll definitely have to wait to see. But the Lions, they are just hungry for a rebound in 2026. I mean, like Proctor being with the Lions, I mean, that's pretty good right there. And plus, this is not like the Lions team that was falling short of a playoff win, or just that 0-16 team from '08. Like those days are gone. Like when Dan Campbell is getting things rolling in Detroit, like he's just making magic all over the place. But we will definitely wait and see what happens. But our next topic: could Kentucky be snatching Elijah Haven away? I saw this storyline from FanSided from Bama Hammer the other day. Will Stein is really getting himself well known a little bit. He's kind of making people go, all right, y'all can forget about Mark Stoops. Now let's think about what we're going to be doing now. We're going to be rocking and rolling. And a good way to do that is try to see if they're going to snatch away Elijah Haven from Bama, the number one quarterback of 2027. And this is from Josh Urish. And, because like when I saw this the other day, I thought to myself, wow, he can do that. Like, Alabama's got to keep Haven, man. Like,
I mean, not necessarily, just because with the crowded quarterback room that they could potentially have. Obviously, you want to keep a talent like Elijah Haven. We're talking about the top passer in Louisiana. He kind of wrote the Louisiana state record books for passing, rushing, combined touchdowns and stuff like that. He had over 78 touchdowns in his junior year. Being 6'5", 215 pounds, he has NFL size. But it doesn't surprise me that a school like Kentucky is probably going to throw all they can at Elijah Haven, just because they're trying to get at a quarterback purgatory, and they want a star in Lexington. And then on top of that, Alabama already having a lot of money tied up in players at the position. Obviously, you look at Keelan Russell, you look at Trent Seaborn, you look at Caden Tagwa, you look at just some of the other quarterbacks that they have, younger quarterbacks. Obviously Austin Mack too, but it wouldn't surprise me if Haven looked at them as a real option because that's a place where he can easily start. He can easily start in Lexington, Kentucky. So, but Alabama has been high on his radar. Haven came down on Junior Day and he got with his good friend Marshawn Sales. The two had been talking about potentially teaming up in Tuscaloosa at Alabama. So that wouldn't surprise me. But obviously, you want to keep a talent like that in the stable. Haven has already said that he's going to be looking to make his decision after basketball season. He's a multi-sport athlete. He plays basketball too. But you just look at him, man. I could definitely see why schools are after him. Obviously, Florida was in the mix. Georgia was in the mix. Auburn was in the mix. And Kentucky is now trying to throw themselves in the ring as well. But this is the number one quarterback in the class of 2027. So he's going to have a lot of bidders. That's just part of the game. That's what comes with it. But it'll just be interesting to see how these May visits go, how stuff looks. But I'm definitely expecting some news on that front within the coming months. Like you said, he was waiting for his basketball season to end so he could kind of sit down and see where he wants to go. But just looking at his highlights, man, dude's a monster. Like he's like a mix of Cam Newton and Josh Allen just at his size. And then he shows that deep ball ability, being able to throw the ball over 50 yards as a high schooler. He shows the mobility at his size. He's like a man amongst boys. They cannot tackle him. They can't stop him. So I definitely see why these other schools are trying to get in. And obviously they can maybe promise him more of a official starting role than Alabama can because Alabama is so competitive. They like to stack quarterbacks. They like to keep the quarterback room deep. And, not saying that Haven wouldn't want to compete, but, some places are just easier and then they can offer you more money and stuff like that. So, it's really just on him. It's really what he's looking for in a college program. I mean, does he want to go help the rebuild in Lexington? Does he want to come compete at a great place like Alabama? And, you might have to wait your turn a little bit. But at the end of the day, wherever he goes, we'll be talking about it. We'll be breaking it down whenever that commitment comes. But, you look at this kid, just the mobility, it's like a Mack truck going down the lane. You definitely want to get out of his way as a defender. So, obviously, we would like him to come to the University of Alabama and play some football. But if that doesn't happen, I won't be shocked. Like I said, these other schools can promise him a little bit more on the potential of playing early because, nowadays that's what it is about with these kids. Some kids don't like to wait and develop. Some kids want to play early. I mean, not saying that is about that's what's in Haven's mind, but being the number one quarterback in your class, you kind of are expected to play from day one. So it'll just be interesting to see. And we'll be breaking it down whenever that happens, whatever news happens.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, because like whatever happens. We'll be keeping our eye on it all for you guys, all right here on Alabama with the Voice of College Football. Regardless of whether he decides Alabama's the place for him, Kentucky, Georgia, Florida, Auburn, or Timbuktu. We'll be covering all right here on Alabama with the Voice of College Football. But yeah, I mean, he is number one QB, and like you said, he is going to have a lot of suitors. So that is one thing to really expect.
Yeah, most definitely. Like I said, we're talking about the number one quarterback in the class of 2027. NFL, both running the football and throwing the football. So definitely going to be a lot of suitors there. But like you said, we'll be checking it out whenever we get some answers on that front. Just be interesting to see.
Yeah, absolutely, man. For sure. But yeah, so we've got some magic coming your way all right here on Alabama with the Voice of College Football. The month of March, April, May, June, July, we've got it all right here on Alabama with the Voice of College Football. We've got YouTube memberships to let you know. For $2.99 a month, you can become a Crimson Faithful member where you'll have a loyalty badge next to your name in the comments and the live chat. And you get a member shout out on each show. For $4.99 a month, you can become a Saber Disciple where you'll have priority replies to comments and access to a monthly hangout. From yours truly, Jackson Johnson, Jeffrey Only Talk Sports, and Trevion Ware from Bama Hammer at Fansided and Alabama with the Voice of College Football. And of course, you can become a Bear Bryant legend where you can connect on social media with each of us and give out content requests of any kind. And neither rain nor sleet nor snow nor the weird weather of Alabama will put a stop to us from fulfilling your content request all right here on Alabama with the Voice of College Football. Right on time, Godfather of the SEC saying hello to everyone, giving out that number one foam finger.
Hey, Godfather, man, our OG member. We always appreciate Godfather. Always showing up every episode, always giving us feedback, always showing love and support. So we definitely appreciate that. Those who are watching this video would encourage you to like, comment, hit that subscribe button if you can. If you haven't already, we definitely appreciate that. It's how we feed the show and bring the news to you that we do when we can. So we definitely appreciate that.
Oh, for sure. I mean, when our show is hungry, we always make sure to feed the baby, where it's like, there you go. Here's your food. There you go. All right here. You know something? We got some recruiting updates. Some more on Monshawn Sales, and we've got a guy named Malik Howard we got to keep an eye on. And we've got some some highlights of Sales. Like we've gone over, we did a little recruiting update on Monshawn Sales before, but we could do another update of him again because he's going to be scheduling a visit. That's what he's going to be doing. He's going to be seeing what's up with Alabama, and I believe he's got a visit scheduled real soon for late May.
Yeah, I was seeing some dates around May 28th, May 20th. You mean May or March? I'm thinking it's March.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was March. My bad.
Yeah. I've been seeing he had a visit scheduled for March 28th, March 29th. We're talking about the number one receiver in the class of 2027. I already got NFL size at 6'5", 215 pounds as well. Him and Monshawn Sales and EJ Haven are good friends, it seems like, and they both came down on Alabama Junior Day, and we can see why the Crimson Tide are very invested in getting this kid. Obviously, the kid's from the state of Indiana, and the Indiana Hoosiers with Coach Signetti have been hot on his trail. But Monshawn Sales, he had about 11 touchdowns this past season, had about 1,200 yards. He's a player that can play inside on the slot at his size at 6'5". You can line him up on the outside. He's a monster. He can run the route tree, the intermediate game. He can stretch the field. You can throw him the jump ball, as we see right there, and he can come down with it and make plays with you. So, obviously, Alabama is looking to get him in to pair him potentially with in the future with Sadarian Morgan, who they brought in this past year, the number one receiver from the state of Alabama, putting him alongside Derek Meadows as well. And plus with Ryan Williams this next year, looking for him to have a pretty big year, a year that can propel him to the NFL in 2027. So, this could be a big get for Alabama in the future, Obviously, they have other receivers on the roster like Noah Rogers, the NC State commit. But like I said, with Ryan Williams potentially catapulting to the NFL next year, you definitely want to get your next main guy in. And Monshawn Sales can definitely be that guy. He took a visit on Alabama's Junior Day, and he took some pictures of the Heisman Trophy, so he had already been having some Heisman aspirations in the Crimson Tide uniform. You see the top schools right there. And it was May. It wasn't March. It was May. It was May 29th. You was right, Jackson. But obviously, Indiana is going to have the first crack of the in-state kid on April 24th. And he's going to come down to Tuscaloosa on May 29th. Then we see Ohio State in the picture as well on June 12th. And then we got Miami lastly rounding out that top four on June 19th. Those are all big boy programs, so, who can all offer him the same opportunities that Alabama can offer, and maybe a little bit more. How Alabama, they spend money, not saying they're cheap or anything, but these other schools tend to overspend. So, it's really just going to be about what he values in the program, what he's looking for in the program, what role Kalen DeBoer and Ryan Grubb and Derek Nix can promise him coming in as a freshman in 2027. But obviously, this is the number one receiver receiver in the state. I mean, in the nation in the class of 2027. So just like Elijah Haven, he has a lot of suitors as well. He's going to be highly sought after. So, Alabama is definitely going to try to put their best efforts together to tie him in. But it'll just be interesting to see where he wants to go. I'm thinking that, like I said, him and Elijah Haven have a good relationship, and they might want to team up and play together at the next level. So we'll be keeping an eye out on that as well. That'll definitely be something that we'll be looking at in the future. But looking at some pretty big days coming up in the spring regarding Marshawn Sales, Elijah Haven, two of the top players in the nation.
And we got a 4-star tight end named Malik Howard. We're keeping an eye on him. So we're going to be rocking and rolling, seeing whether he's going to go to Alabama or not. And after a few of these highlights, we're going to show you when he's going to be visiting Alabama. And that's going to be in late May. That's going to be late May. So he's going to be having some fun.
Yeah, but just to talk about Malik Howard, we're talking about a 6'4", 225-pound tight end. Runs the route tree very well, can put his hand in the ground and be a lead blocker, as we're seeing right here on film. Can definitely find that sweet spot in the defense. You can line him up inside. He's a player that's a mismatch nightmare that can very well get open at any point on the field. He's one of the more athletic tight ends in the nation. You can line him up on the outside like a receiver and just throw him the jump ball, as we see he coming down with it right now. He's a player that has a lot of speed. He's a player that can definitely change the trajectory of your offense, just giving your quarterback that big window to throw into. Nice soft hands, very good quick release, can run after the catch, knows where the sticks are, takes pride in blocking, as we see right there. Can line up on the inside, on the outside, like I said, can run the route tree very well, runs very well for his size, like I said. Can make things happen after the catch. So, this could be a big priority for Alabama. Obviously, they have Caleb Edwards in the stable. They got Marshall Pritchard in the stable. They got Max Stutter in the stable. But, if you can add a freaky athletic tight end like him, that's definitely something that you want to do, because every time it seems they throw him the ball, he's making a big play. He's making a home run play. He can hit his head on the goalpost from any area of the field. He looking like a little bit of Kyle Pitts to me right there. So I'm definitely liking what I see. And then the blocking aspect, for him to have that many blocking plays on his film, that's very impressive, because Alabama with the tight end in their offense, they're always looking for the tight end to block, to help out with the run game, and that's definitely something that Malik Howard can do. And he runs the routes very well. And I'm just thinking about new tight ends coach Richard Owens. I'm pretty sure that he has a lot of say so on this kid, and I'm pretty sure that he's been very well impressed with what we're seeing on film as well. So looking like OJ Howard a little bit. OJ Howard, Alabama former tight end as well. So I'm definitely excited just to see how his recruitment goes. That'll be something that we'll be keeping an eye on. But you see it right there. The kid can do pretty much everything you ask him to do, from a blocking standpoint to a route running standpoint to catching the football, finding the sweet spot in the defense, making things happen over the catch, not going down on first contact. So I'm definitely excited about Malik Howard and what he can do potentially in a Crimson Tide uniform in the class of 2027, but you can definitely see why he is as highly regarded as he is in his class.
Oh, man. There we go. Oh, touchdown. Oh, he's good. He's good.
Yeah, he's definitely looks like he's as advertised. Like I said, at 6'4", he's probably going to come to Tuscaloosa maybe 6'5", and Alabama, they've had their share of tight ends over the past year. Obviously, they had the steady and reliable tight end and Josh Cuevas this past year. But I'm just thinking about what you run some of those two tight end sets in 2027, what he and Caleb Edwards can do, and Caleb Edwards being a similar size as him, he can definitely transform your offense. and you just like I said, I continue to clamor about the way he blocks and the way he makes things happen after the catch. You see, he has strong hands and catch the ball in traffic, and that's everything that you want in your tight end. So I'm definitely I'm excited just to see where this goes with Malik Howard.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, he knows how to. He's a great blocker, and he knows how to make those jump balls. And he's making great catches, great plays all over the place, and he's making several men miss on this play.
Yeah, like I said, I feel like I've said the same thing over and over again, but he continues to do the same thing over and over again. So that just shows how consistent he is in his game. Uh, Being 225 pounds, I definitely think that he can bulk up a little bit more over this summer going into his senior year, and plus getting on that college weight training plan with that whatever program he goes to. But this is definitely a quarterback friendly, system friendly player that you can put in your offense, and he can be a plug and play type of player.
Oh, there we go. He's just knocking guys down, and one more to go. Boom. Love it. Love what this guy's bringing.
Yeah,
And
definitely love the energy and intensity and consistency that he plays with. That's definitely something that I know Ryan Grubb and Alabama new tight end coach Richard Owens would love. And now we're seeing that uh, Malik Howard has officially locked in his visit for May 29th through May 31st. Definitely going to be a big weekend in Tuscaloosa as they continue to get him in. Obviously, spring practices are going to be rolling around, so they're going to be able to get him out there to a couple practices. So that can be a big weekend for Alabama in their future as they continue to shape out that tight end room and build for the future.
for sure. I mean, it's going to be a wild ride to see what happens for the 2027 class. I mean, I'm already just getting excited about what late May is going to bring. Because, I mean, number one, it just means we're getting close to kickoff. Number two, we got some recruiting visits to watch out for in the late part of May. That's going to be the best part right there. Yeah, and especially if you're bored from watching Major League Baseball, this is the perfect place to come to. Alabama college football.
Man, I just got into baseball this past. I got into it around the pandemic and stuff like that back in 2020, 2021. And just to speak on baseball, I don't think baseball boring, man. Baseball is, I mean, obviously.
I know.
Obviously, this is America's pastime sport.
The Braves.
But when you got stars like Shohei Ohtani, Aaron Judge, Ronald Acuna, Pete Alonso, and stuff like that, it's kind of hard for me to say it's boring. But other people might beg to differ. But I just thought I'd throw that out there. But yeah.
Oh, there you go, man. Yeah, I'm already just hoping that the Braves can get another World Series for this decade ends. Because I mean, I want to see them win it again. But I mean, yeah, because it was like funny, like you were like talking about like during the pandemic, it was funny, which I was telling my dad, which it's like, oh, this is the best I can do for sports world. Just play a little Grand Theft Auto for now. And he's like, there's always soccer. And I told him, I'm not that desperate.
Man, you just like when you like me, man, I didn't learn so much just about other sports. I even started watching a little bit tennis with Novak Djokovic and watching some soccer with Lionel Messi and just other stuff like that. I kind of love all sports now. So, I'm very dialed in with a lot of stuff outside of football. But football, that's my baby. That's my number one. So, I love football. So, with that being said, let's talk some more football. What else we got on the slate, Jackson, for tonight?
Well, we got the 2028 schedule, and we're finding out that Georgia State is the home opener for the 2028 season. Now, yeah. I recall it the last time. I know, like the last time one of the last times Alabama's played Georgia State was in 2010. I think we played after 20. I think they both played after 2010, because I mean, like the one thing I remember about it was on ESPNU on a Thursday night on November 17th of 2010. But
Yeah,
but there's like another game on ESPN on Thursday night football that week, and that was Washington UCLA. And Washington was 4-6, I believe. No, 4-6. Fight for bowl eligibility, trying to get Jake Locker to a bowl game before he left.
Yeah, obviously, just going back to the Alabama side of things, this news was out yesterday. Looks like Kellen DeBoer is trying to put together that 2028 schedule. A lot of talks have been with 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 Oklahoma State being on that slate as well. Obviously, the big elephant in the room is will Alabama cancel out that home and home series with Ohio State? And if they do, that could be a potential. Would that leave a hole in the 4 non-conference games, or they saying
no, because it's like Alabama has like 4 non-conference games.
It's 12 games altogether. That's why,
Mm-hmm.
And then it's non-SEC games. So with Oklahoma State already being on the dock, and then they already agreed with Georgia Southern, and then the other game, who would be the other game? I mean, would it be Ohio State?
UT Martin.
To UT Martin. So I think that Alabama is kind of signaling that they want to cancel it. Obviously, we saw me and you were talking about it earlier before the show started. We were talking about the Ohio State's athletic director said, "Hey, we still want it on over here. They still want it to happen." But with the SEC playing that 9-game schedule, and we seeing what happened to the Texas Longhorns this past year, them playing Ohio in the first game, and not to say that was the reason why they didn't make the playoffs, because they still lost to teams like Florida and stuff like that. But this new age of college football, with the conferences being as stiff as they are, anytime you play at a conference game, they're trying to just chalk up some wins and stuff like that. So, a lot of people were talking down on Alabama this past 2-week period about that. But at the end of the day, I just feel like you got to put yourself in best position to make the college football playoffs. That's the number one role. That's the number one job of every head coach. And Alabama is looking to do that. Obviously, if you don't have to play a tough team, why would you play them? I mean, what benefit do you get out of that? I mean, if you lose the game, the loser is kind of messed up versus the winner. I mean, the winner could move up in the rankings, but at the same time, it's not really rewarding. It's just it's more risk than reward type of thing. So
we're in that era of you are what your record says you are era for right now.
Yeah, and a lot of the committee is not looking at the context of some of these games. Like for example, Notre Dame. If Notre Dame is in the top 12 of the college football playoff rankings next year, they get an automatic bid in the field, and it doesn't matter who they play. They can go play community college for the next 6. They can play community college for half of their games, but if they end up in the top 12 with a substantial record, they automatically get in the college football playoffs. And with that being said, record is you are who you say you are with your record and stuff like that. Other teams have looked at that and they say, hey, if they don't got to play nobody hard, we don't got to play nobody hard. And that's kind of rubbing some people the wrong way. But at the same time, this day and age of college football, especially with Alabama, you're going to be talked about for whatever you do. Everybody going to talk about you regardless. Alabama is always in the center of controversy, whether that's good or bad. So, you just got to put yourself first. You can't worry about what other people are saying on the outside because they're going to talk anyway. So, whatever Kellen DeBoer and Greg Byrne decide to do on that scheduling standpoint, hey, we'll be with it and we'll be ready to see how it all pans out. But, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because we'll definitely wait and see what happens. But, I mean, in a way, I'm hoping Alabama can just kind of like push back that Oklahoma State series. Because like, I've been like really looking at the non-conference openings for each teams of 2028, 2029. And I see that like Oklahoma has a non-conference opening for 2029. I want them to add Oklahoma State along with like Nebraska, San Diego State. I don't think that'll happen, but I want it to happen because it's like, it's good for college football for the state of Oklahoma, because I mean, it's like that's a game that could definitely help small businesses and all. Because I mean, seriously, who's going to be like going over to a bar thinking about Oklahoma State, Iowa State? Nothing against like Iowa State or
I mean, they're already in the same conference, being in the Big 12, so they're gonna run into each other regardless. I get what you're saying about helping small business out and stuff like that, but nobody gonna help Alabama, so it's like
Well, that's true.
But
Yeah,
I can
because
definitely see where your thinking comes in, with the potential of giving other schools chances to, get that TV time, get that air time. It can help with recruiting on both sides, but I feel like with Oklahoma State and Georgia State and who was the third school on that
UT Martin.
UT Martin, just
Yeah.
the relationship with Ty Simpson's dad. Ty Simpson's dad is the coach at UT Martin and stuff like that. So, and them wanting to get they've already extended an offer to Ty Simpson's little brother, Graham Simpson. So, that could be a good thing on top of that. But it'll just be interesting to see what happens. Obviously, from a competitive standpoint, everybody wants to see Alabama versus Ohio State. Hell, I want to see Alabama versus Ohio State. Hey, that'll be a marquee matchup. But at the same time, Alabama is making some business decisions. Everybody's not going to agree with those business decisions, but at the end of the day, everybody don't got to play the schedule that Alabama got to play. Everybody doesn't have the X on their back that Alabama has on their back. So with that being said, you got to make the best decision for you as a coach, which is Kellen DeBoer is doing, as a program, which athletic director Greg Byrne is doing, to get Alabama back to the top of the mountain and make that college football playoff and make that run. And, if it's meant to be for Alabama and Ohio State to square off on the same field, we'll see it in the college football playoffs. I really believe that. If it's truly meant to be, we'll see it there. I mean, of course, you want to see it on a Saturday in September, on a Saturday in October, but at the same time, if both programs hold up their end of the bargain like they have over the past several years of being as dominant as they can be, it'll happen. So, that's just my honest thought on it.
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll wait and see what happens, though. But it's just, that was the thing, though. When it was scheduled, it was when we had the 8-game conference schedules in the SEC, and like the moment the SEC got kind of bullied into doing 9 games because everyone else is doing it, you should
It changed
too.
everything. It changed everything, and a lot of people say SEC is the hardest conference. I think from top to bottom down, I still believe it's the hardest conference. Obviously, the Big Ten has a lot to say about that over the past couple of years, with the national championship coming through the Big Ten over the last several years. But at the same time, from a physicality standpoint, being down here in the South, I don't really see how it's much harder. I mean, I don't really see who has it harder, but that's not what it's about, But I just think, with that 9-game schedule and looking at some of those bye weeks and stuff, everybody got a late bye week. You got to play at least 7-8 weeks of football just to get a bye week. So, from a roster standpoint and keeping people healthy and stuff, that can definitely be an issue too. But, it's the new day and age of college football. It's what's going on. You got to get with the times. Can't be like an old man complaining on your yard about, hey, things used to be this way. Things used to be that way. I mean, I find myself doing that sometimes, but, you got to adjust and adapt. And I feel like that's what Alabama is doing. And, like I said, if those marquee matchups are meant to happen, if they're meant to play a team like Ohio State, if they're meant to play a team like Oregon or even Indiana again, if those teams hold up their end of the bargain and Alabama does all the same, they'll be seeing each other in December and January where it really matters. So, we'll just see.
Agreed. Like we'll definitely wait and see on that. And whatever happens, happens. And whatever decision is made, we'll definitely go live on it. That's for sure. And for more updates on clips like this on Alabama with the Voice of College Football, check us out all right here. And like, comment, subscribe, click on the notification bell so you never miss another video whatsoever. And last but not least, we've got some tournament seed scenarios for the Crimson Tide in men's college basketball. Man. So, friend Ronald Evans has 4 scenarios for the Crimson Tide. When, not if, Alabama beats Mississippi State Wednesday night, the goal will get quickly together. And let's see. So if you went out, you could finish as high as a 2 seed, and you get to kind of sit until the Friday night. Where I believe the SEC tournament starts on a Wednesday. You've got like the first round, the second round, and the quarterfinals on Fridays. And and Selection Sunday, like hours before Selection Sunday, is the SEC championship game. And just kind of like looking at it, if they're in the top 4, they can just sit and chill. Alabama beats Mississippi State, Georgia, Auburn, lose Tennessee. Don't say we're gonna lose Tennessee. Don't say that.
Hey, Tennessee. Hey, I'll be honest. Tennessee is definitely a tough opponent for Alabama. You look at some of the players that they got, like Nate Amendment and stuff like that. Just being honest, not even being a homer, Tennessee is definitely a viable contender in the SEC. So it's if they beat Tennessee, you can't just chalk that up as a win. But I feel like Alabama should be able to handle them. But Nate Oates and his group definitely still have a lot cut out for them. I believe that they have 20 wins on the season. They've been able to handle business over this last 2-week period, stacking up around 8 consecutive wins. I think it's 8 or 7. I'm not 100% sure. Coming off the win this past weekend in Baton Rouge versus LSU, and now coming home versus Mississippi State. The work is still yet to be done. There's still a lot to be done. So keeping our fingers crossed for the Alabama Crimson Tide men's team. Definitely want to see LeBaron Philon and Aiden Sherrill and White and Wrightsell and Houston Millette and that group definitely get it going in late March. But it's all about matchups because the only game that they lost, like we said, we always lament back to the Florida game, going down there in Gainesville and how they performed there. But, it's all about matchups. It's all about scouting. It's all about what did you learn from this game? What did you learn from that game? But I definitely think that the Alabama men's team is definitely built for a run in March. We've seen their last couple runs where they gotten all the way up to the Final Four. I've been seeing some articles and hearing some talk about them saying that their ceiling is the Elite Eight. But, it really just depends. It just depends on what side of the bracket you're on. It depends on who you're matched up with. It depends on how you do in the SEC tournament, what momentum you can draw from that. But I definitely think that this team can be built for the long haul. Obviously, they got to clean up some stuff defensively. Their biggest problem over the last couple of years has just been rebounding the ball and, getting on the glass, like I said, and dealing with some size and stuff like that. But they have the guard play. They have the wings. It's just about that front court. It's just about handling stuff up front. But I definitely think that Coach Nate Oates has a grasp of the locker room where he can get them to play harder and to play above their ceiling and to make some things happen. But we'll be definitely tapping into that Mississippi State matchup tomorrow. which is going to be here in Tuscaloosa at the Coleman Coliseum. We're hoping that Alabama continues their winning ways. But yeah, I mean, and this was a good game right here. Last Thursday, I believe, Alabama
Oh
played.
yeah, last Wednesday night.
Yeah, playing Arkansas, and obviously Acuff, the guard off of Arkansas, man, he went crazy. He went crazy. He dropped 50 points almost. He's one of those guards, just like LeBaron Philon. He's one of those guards that's going to be a lottery pick. So you just run into talent and stuff like that. But obviously, the Alabama's men's team was able to fight through and hold it down and protect that home court. Protecting home court is a very much of an important aspect as you get closer to March and getting those wins on your resume. But definitely give a big shout out to the Alabama men's team on how they were able to hold things together and eke out this 2 overtime win, and continue to make their case for March. They were able to come back for being down over 8 points. In Arkansas, having Coach Calipari from Kentucky, that played a big factor into that. But the men's Alabama basketball team was able to show their heart, their determination, and they continue to stack some good wins together, stack some good basketball together. Now reeling in their 7th or 8th consecutive win, and we just hoping to see the same tomorrow night versus Mississippi State. Continue to protect home floor and continue to do the things that you need to do to prepare yourself for March and put yourself in the best position.
Well, and I was also kind of looking at the oh no scenarios from Mr. Evans on Bama Hammer, where he had another situation where it's like, where if Alabama's winning out, which they would be a 2 seed, but if Alabama was to wind up beating Mississippi State, Tennessee, Auburn, but lose Georgia, they would still be a 2 seed. But if Alabama only beat Mississippi State, Auburn, they would be a 5 seed, which they would be playing on Thursday, March the 12th for the second round. And if Alabama only beat, and if like Alabama lost out to Tennessee, Georgia, and Auburn, they would be a 6 seed in the tournament playing in the second round. And they would likely be a 6 seed in the NCAA tournament, which I don't think that's going to happen. Alabama should be good to go because, Alabama can rock and roll, for the rest of the regular season. I think Mississippi State's got some bad days ahead of them because, this season has not been good for Mississippi State. And Auburn, why they're in the bubble watch is beyond me. Because, it's like Daddy Pearl must have a lot of money, I'm sure.
Oh, man, they ain't a bubble watch just because I don't want to blame it on no particular thing. I mean, obviously they had some obviously the Florida game is still fresh on a lot of people's mind, but the Bediako situation going on and stuff like that, they're going to see how the NCAA wants to handle that on Selection Sunday. How do they credit them? Some of those wins, been seeing some talk about some vacated stuff going on. But, I mean, at the end of the day, Bediako, for the time he was there, he provided energy, but he didn't provide really on the scoreboard. So,
yeah.
They have been doing better without him and stuff like that, and Alabama has still been able to string these wins together. So I'm hoping that that doesn't play a huge factor into it. But that's why you got to win. That's why you got to continue to keep the streak up that they have, and so you don't leave it in the committee's hands. I mean, in terms of football, we saw it. We was talking about it last year. You don't want to put it in the committee's hands in the college football playoffs, and Alabama don't want to do the same thing in the March Madness tournament on Selection Sunday. So, you win, you dominate in the SEC tournament, you get as far as you can, and, you do that, you don't have to worry about much. But we'll see. That'll definitely be something that we'll be talking about as we flip the calendar over to March. But, yeah.
Oh, yeah, because, honestly, Alabama's done more than just fine without Bediako. I mean, it's like they beat Arkansas in that double overtime game last week, and this week, I really think the rest of regular season could go all right. In the SEC tournament, I'll be honest, I think Alabama's going to show everyone that they never really need a Bediako. Where it's like, where's all that? Where Alabama's cheating? Come on, that's just a bunch of horse dung. Like I'm just ready, because it's like, that stuff is like they're just throwing the baby out with the bathwater on Bama.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely think that there's been a lot said, but that's why I give props to Coach Nate Oates, and he's been able to hold this group together because it seems like they've been in the news time and time again, but they've been able to hold it down. So, weather the storm and stuff like that. So I'm definitely thinking that they can continue to do that as they flip the calendar over to March.
Oh yeah, man, like no doubt. Oh, did you see what happened with Nate Oates today?
No, I didn't. I've been so busy on the football side of things, I didn't really get to see it.
Ooh. Check this out, because I found it on Instagram today.
Yeah, I don't even be on Instagram like that, so it's no, I didn't see it.
Well, because I saw something about Coach Oates, and this is pretty good. So this is a good one right there. Oh, here we go. Okay, let's go on the next round live. That's where I found it from. Because this was a good one. Here we go. Boom. Nate Oates is going to be Anthony Grant's assistant coach for Team USA.
Oh, yeah, I did see that. Yeah. Definitely want to give a big shout out to Coach Nate Oates getting that Team USA nod. Definitely going to be around some good athletes. Could be around some potential Alabama athletes. I don't know if Brandon Miller can make the squad 2028. Maybe LeBaron Fallon can make the squad. But still, I don't know. I mean, it's a lot going on with that. Obviously, they're going to want to get the veterans on the team. Like, for example, Kevin Durant has already came out and said that he wants to play in USA game in 2028. Steph Curry is still going to be around. He's going to be 40, but, they always pay homage to the veterans to get them up front. So, but definitely want to give a shout out to Coach Nate Oates for sure.
There we go. Round of applause for Coach. There we go. So, round of applause for Coach Oates being part of that Olympics team. Like, I'm excited. But I will say we've got some more magic coming your way, all right here on Alabama with the Voice of College Football. Coming your way and much more. And let me tell you, it's always a wild ride, especially when we're on Mondays, Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and the Alabama Call-In Show, 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern Time with Jeffrey and myself as we take your calls on the Crimson Tide. And who knows, we could be live again this week, especially with the Draft Combine upon us this week. Trevion, what magic have you got cooking up this week, good buddy?
It's a good question, man. Obviously, today I have been writing a little bit, put out an article today about some player comparisons, looking at the Alabama Crimson Tide top prospects in the NFL draft. That focuses on Ty Simpson, Caden Proctor, and Jeremy Bernard. Wrote an article giving them my top 3 comparisons for each player. That's something that I definitely think that it's a good read for anybody that wants to look at that. Also got some potential articles coming out as the NFL Combine comes, looking at some of these player measurables, looking at some of how these players perform in drills and team meetings and stuff like that. That got that going on as well. Some stuff in the works there. Got to look at my idea board to see what I exactly want to put together. But also looking at spring ball, man. We're almost in the month of March. Spring ball is going to start in March. So looking at that, trying to flip this roster upside down, give some interesting dynamics, give some stuff that a lot of people aren't talking about. But, that just comes with creativity. That comes with me just sitting down and focusing on what I want the focus to be. But, that's a good thing about this. That's a good thing about the off season. I mean, obviously it's a slow time, but that's where your creativity stands out. So I'm definitely focusing on being more creative in my writing and stuff like that. So if you definitely want to check out to see what I got going on, you can check me out on X at TWorld1K. My stories are down my page. I just posted a story, that exact story with the player comparisons. This is my last post. My links in my bio to my stories. You definitely can check those out. And yeah, if you want to throw me a follow, I definitely appreciate it. I'll follow you back. If not, if you just want to read some stories, you just want to catch up on some stuff, I can definitely provide that element to you as well. But I definitely appreciate anybody and everybody who's looking at my page and looking to me as a source of knowledge. I definitely appreciate that. I definitely am trying to continue to grow myself in this writer space, but I'm definitely enjoying it. So yeah, I mean, other than that, not really a lot going on. Probably finna sit back and watch me some college basketball. One thing I like to say was looking at the Duke in Notre Dame pick that I gave out earlier on Cameron Boozer. He's already cleared the line. I had him on 29.5 points, rebounds. Cameron Boozer already got like 12 rebounds by itself. Got a 15.
Oh, they're smacking Notre Dame 54-24.
Yeah, they're
Oh,
killing it. So Cam Boozer has been a big part of that. So that pick I gave out is going well. So with that being said, really just going to look at some college basketball, some NBA basketball, sit down, look at some of my bets, hoping, crossing my fingers that I come home with some cash tonight. But other than that, I'm chilling, man. Enjoying life. Everything is what everything is. I'm chilling.
Oh, here we go. Tell your friends, your family, and the cashiers at Publix about the magic that Trevion brings all right here on Alabama with the Voice of College Football and at Bama Hammer at Fansided. And also give them a follow at TWare1K. Get them over to 3,000 followers, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get them there. And, of course, you can check me out on Jackson Johnson 979, where I am one episode away from getting to 100, and I'm also 270 subs away from that magic number 1,000. And you can also check out last night's edition of SEC Live, where I was joined by Garrison Gaddy of Ohio State Primetime Live, discussing whether the SEC going to 9 games hurts the Alabama-Ohio State series and much more. We've got it all right there. And for more updates, what I've got going on, the Jacksonian Alabama at the Voice of College Football, SEC at the Voice of College Football, once, twice a week appearances on Locked On West Virginia Mountaineer Paul, discussing the West Virginia Mountaineers. Check me out on Jacksonville CFP on @/Twitter and on the Instagram page, JacksonJohnson543908. And with that being said, like, comment, subscribe, click on the notification bell so you never miss no video whatsoever. We are 40 subs away from 3,200 subscribers, all right here on Alabama with the Voice of College Football. Let's get there, and we will see y'all soon. And roll.
Good night, everybody.